Don't leave anything for later. Later the coffee gets cool, later you lose interest, later the day changes into night, sometime later people grow up, become old, and life cruises by, and you're left with regret, inquiring as to why you didn't face that challenge when you had it. If you don't leave your past already, it will destroy your future. Live for what today offers that might be of some value, not what yesterday has eliminated. In this book recording, we're bouncing into the phenomenal power of now. Imagine an everyday presence where you quit stopping, quit deferring, and start totally embracing consistently. This viewpoint isn't just about motivation, about a shift will convey you closer to your goals, interests, and a presence without mourns. Oblige us as we reveal how taking action today can fundamentally modify your tomorrow. Area 1. The cost of later. We habitually think later is harmless, essentially a little deferment, something we'll get to at last, but later has a mystery cost that collects after some time. Each time we say later, we're putting our dreams, goals, and even associations on hold. It gives off an impression of being a safeguarded technique for conceding, but when in doubt, later can transform into a penchant, one that makes our logical stride by step. This segment examines how later relax deals with the things we regard most and holds us back from living totally. Imagine in case each time you put something off, you were taking a little withdrawal from your life's every deferral presumably will not appear to be a ton, yet long-term, those little withdrawals can leave you with an unfilled record of messed up open entryways, unachieved goals, and lost memories. Saying, "I'll do it later," isn't just harmless, it's a subtle anyway solid way to deal with making some separation from the presence you want. This part shows us how monitoring our choices in the present can divert our future. The cost of later doesn't just impact huge dreams, it similarly impacts customary everyday presence. Consider the not entirely obvious subtleties, like financial planning energy with loved ones, making that phone choice, or regardless, stopping briefly to loosen up. Each time we say we'll do it later, we're putting off enjoyment and affiliation, and eventually, we could recall and comprehend those minutes won't at any point come. This part is an update that our lives are contain the things we do, or don't do, today, not soon. All in all, this part bounces into the significant impact of later. Right when we persistently put things off, it makes an example of obligation, stress, and bungled open entryways. Each concede leaves a holding up vibe of something left dissipated, a bothering thought at the back of our minds. At the point when we finally exhibition, we could feel exhausted and dissuaded, inquiring as to why we didn't do it sooner. Seeing this cost can spike us to start making changes, to move from later to now, and develop a presence of action and reason, every second. Area 2. Breaking freed from reasons are pleasing. They safeguard us from the anxiety about dissatisfaction, excusal, and weakness. However, while reasons could have a fare of safety, they continue like imperceptible chains that hold us down. Each time we say, "I don't have time, I'm not ready," or "I'll start tomorrow," we empower those chains. This part is connected to seeing reality with regards to pardons, obstructions we make ourselves. Exactly when we break freed from pardons, we open the way to likelihood, grit, and achievement. Exonerates often veil themselves as savvy reasons, and that makes them so dangerous. "I'll start when I have more money," or "I'm holding on for the right second," sound reasonable. Be that as it may, these diversions keep us in a solitary spot, remaining by unendingly. Breaking freed from pardons infers testing these side interests and asking, "What's really stopping me?" Habitually, it's our own inquiries and fears. By seeing through these reasons, we gain the clarity to act, paying little mind to how defective the timing or conditions could show up. Breaking freed from pardons moreover suggests embracing obligation. Exactly when we quit denouncing conditions or others, we recuperate control over our lives. This part shows how assuming a sense of ownership with choices, both the triumphs and hardships, empowers us. It exhorts us that we are not setbacks from our ongoing situation, yet rather powerful individuals in embellishment our future. By seeing ourselves as capable, we find strength we didn't understand we had, and we become more grounded regardless of difficulties. Finally, this part explores the open door that comes when we let go of reasons. Imagine the mental energy and time wasted supporting why we can't totally finish something. By and by, imagine redirecting that energy toward action. Without pardons, we open up space to dream, face difficulties, and create. We find that the underlying move toward progress isn't holding on for the ideal second, starting right currently is picking. Breaking freed from pardons is connected to genuinely focusing on ourselves, and each time we finish, we break another association in the chain holding us down. Section 3. Embracing the power of fast action. There's a unique power in taking action right now. Brief movement is some different option from achieving something quickly. It's connected to rapidly making the most of the ongoing open door and using it to push toward our targets. Exactly when we act immediately, we tap into force that can push us ahead, habitually farther than we imagined. This part is connected to sorting out areas of strength for how might be to act today, instead of hanging on until tomorrow, multi-week from now, or the ideal open door. Fast movement changes objective into progress and dreams into this present reality. Acting rapidly similarly quiets the internal voices of vulnerability. The more we hold on, the extra time we give ourselves to push, overthink, and in the long run figure out ourselves of our game plans. Exactly when we embrace the power of fast action, we stand firm against these inquiries. We say, I probably won't have all of the reactions, yet rather I'm willing to progress as I go. This approach isn't about faultlessness, it's about progress. By wandering forward now, we gain understanding, create adaptability, and learn huge models that orchestrating alone can't teach. Speedy movement moreover sends areas of strength to ourselves that we are committed and skilled. Each time we pick action over vacillating, we strengthen our self-conviction. It looks like making an assurance to ourselves and keeping it. Right when we start seeing the delayed consequences of our undertakings, paying little heed to how little our sureness creates. We begin to appreciate that accomplishment doesn't require astounding karma. It requires solid, brave steps in the present. This adjustment of standpoint makes an example of movement and certainty that makes us persevering. In this part, we'll research approaches to routinely rehearsing fast movement, notwithstanding a one-time event. Taking action quickly doesn't mean being rushed or reckless. It suggests pushing ahead with reason, whether or not conditions aren't perfect. By embracing the power of now, we accept control over our lives and goals. We sort out some way to trust ourselves in the communication, understanding that every action conveys us closer to our actual limit. Embracing fast movement suggests living totally with the cognizance that the capacity to shape our future lies in our choices today. Area 4. Surrendering the past to build a future. Our past is overflowing with delineations, experiences, and memories, some of them sure, others troublesome. While it might be empowering or regardless, captivating to grip what's conspicuous, passing the weight of the past can hold us down. Surrendering doesn't mean dismissing or ignoring our arrangement of encounters. It suggests conveying its hold over us so we can step totally into what the future holds. This segment is connected to understanding how surrendering can be major areas of strength for and of self-opportunity, freeing us to make a future that lines up with our most significant goals and needs. Gripping the past habitually infers grasping old models, convictions, or even mourns that at absolutely no point in the future serve us. We could replay explicit minutes, anticipating a substitute outcome, or stick to past variations of ourselves. In any case, by remaining added to what's presently happened, we hold ourselves back from experiencing advancement. Our energy slows down, and it turns out to be all the more perseveringly to push ahead. Surrendering suggests choosing to leave what's as of now not accommodating and representing new, positive entryways. One technique for surrendering the past is to focus in on the models it taught rather than the sentiments it raises. Each experience, positive or negative, conveys pieces of information that can guide us. Maybe a mistake showed us strength, or a failure showed us where we expected to get to a higher level. By focusing in on what we understood, we shift our demeanor from, "Why did this happen to me?" to, "What could I anytime secure from this?" This reevaluating grants us to believe the past to be an instructor, not a chain, and gives us the fortitude to step into the future with as of late found understanding. Surrendering similarly anticipates that we should absolve, both ourselves as well as others. Grasping hatred or constrain can weigh strongly on our spirits, making imperceptible blocks that hold us down. By practicing vindication, we let go of the critical sentiments that keep us affixed to past events. This doesn't mean pardoning inaccurately exercises, it suggests conveying the near and dear hold those exercises have on us. Exculpating is a way to deal with saying, "I choose to be freed from the greatness of this experience," and it grants us to push toward the future with a lighter heart. As we let go, we begin to understand that we're not described by our past yet by our choices today. Our experiences shape us, but they don't have to limit us. By embracing the ongoing second and focusing in on our future, we re-examine ourselves as per our own inclinations. Consistently transforms into an opportunity to gather the presence we envision, unbound by past limitations. Offering up allows us the opportunity to create and to seek after our dreams with a re-energized sensation of believability and energy. In this segment, you'll track down practical endeavors for conveying the past, pardoning yourself as well as others, and embracing a forward-focused mindset. Surrendering is an outing, yet with each step, you'll feel more drew in and prepared for embellishment a future that reflects who you truly are. By unburdening yourself from the greatness of what's behind you, you can focus in your energy on what lies ahead, building a day-to-day existence that is driven by reason, excitement, and the power of likelihood. Section 5. Living with reason today. Living with reason infers choosing consistently to change your exercises, examinations, and targets with the most compelling thing to you. Right when you stir with an internal compass, your days are filled by course and significance, making even the humblest exercises feel immense. Object is definitely not a target yet a way to deal with daily existence, a point you convey with you in each second, embedding your reality with energy and focus. This part researches how to foster a deliberate viewpoint starting today to make a delightful life. One of the underlying moves toward living with object is figuring out the primary thing to you. Track down a valuable open door to think about your basic convictions, interests, and the things that make you feel commonly fortified. Is it helping others, making something critical, or achieving personal growth? By making sense of what drives you, you lay out the preparation for a deliberate life. This clarity helps you with zeroing in on your critical venture, ensuring that your ordinary exercises add to your greater vision. Living with reason similarly incorporates setting clear, intentional targets. Targets that reverberate with your inspiration are truly convincing and compensating because they are agreed with your characteristics. For example, if your inspiration is to move others, a goal might be to make content or work in a task that licenses you to share compelling messages. These goals give you a sensation of direction in causing each step you take to feel deliberate and viable. Purposeful living requires care and presence. It's quite easy to become associated with plans or be redirected by things that don't serve our goals. By practicing care, you train yourself to stay present, appreciating consistently and focusing in on the most compelling thing. Object isn't for the most part about doing superb things. It's connected to seeing as importance in the standard, whether it's through partner with others, managing your success, or adding to your neighborhood. Troubles and disasters are certain, yet when you live with reason, they become piece of the trip instead of tangles. Reason gives you flexibility, reminding you why you started and helping you with pushing through troublesome stretches. Exactly when you view hardships as wandering stones instead of blockades, you will undoubtedly acquire from them and push ahead. Reason goes probably as an anchor, helping you without standing grounded and focused regardless, when the trip gets outrageous. Living with reason moreover infers being accessible to advancement and change. As you continue to pursue what is significant, you'll most likely track down new interests or perspectives that shift your direction. Object isn't rigid. It progresses as you do. Embrace this turn of events, allowing your inspiration to change for a really long time. By staying versatile and open, you stay reliable with your genuine self, seeking after a way that reflects who you are today and who you hope to transform into. Intentional living is significantly fulfilling in light of the fact that it interfaces your exercises to a greater significance. Instead of simply putting forth an unscrupulous attempt, you're really molding an everyday presence that lines up with your characteristics. This sensation of fulfillment gives an exceptional kind of delight and satisfaction that material accomplishment alone can't give. Living with reason makes a deeply grounded fulfillment that upholds you through both the highs and lows of life. In this part, you'll research huge stages for finding, supporting, and epitomizing your inspiration consistently. Living with goal is your choice every day, a guarantee to blend your reality in with importance, energy, and course. Right when you choose to live purposely, you're not just manufacturing a fantastic life. You're making a legacy, impacting others, and leaving the world to some degree better than you found it. Segment 6 Construction Consistency and Power. Consistency is the framework between characterizing targets and achieving them. It's not important to zero in on taking Goliath bounces, yet taking predictable, customary steps toward your dreams. Building consistency infers making plans to exercises, enormous or little, that line up with your targets every single day. Right when you keep a state of mind, even with little exercises, you build up momentum, which finally causes showing up at your targets to feel ordinary and doable. This segment is connected to understanding how surrendering can be major areas of strength for and of self-opportunity, freeing us to make a future that lines up with our most significant goals and needs. Gripping the past habitually infers grasping old models, convictions, or even mourns that at absolutely no point in the future serve us. We could replay explicit minutes, anticipating a substitute outcome, or stick to past variations of ourselves. In any case, by remaining added to what's presently happened, we hold ourselves back from experiencing advancement. Our energy slows down, and it turns out to be all the more perseveringly to push ahead. Surrendering suggests choosing to leave what's as of now not accommodating and representing new, positive entryways. One technique for surrendering the past is to focus in on the models it taught rather than the sentiments it raises. Each experience, positive or negative, conveys pieces of information that can guide us. Maybe a mistake showed us strength, or a failure showed us where we expected to get to a higher level. By focusing in on what we understood, we shift our demeanor from, "Why did this happen to me?" to, "What could I anytime secure from this?" This reevaluating grants us to believe the past to be an instructor, not a chain, and gives us the fortitude to step into the future with as of late found understanding. Surrendering similarly anticipates that we should absolve, both ourselves as well as others. Grasping hatred or constraint can weigh strongly on our spirits, making imperceptible blocks that hold us down. By practicing vindication, we let go of the critical sentiments that keep us affixed to past events. This doesn't mean pardoning inaccurately exercises, it suggests conveying the near and dear hold those exercises have on us. Exculpating is a way to deal with saying, "I choose to be freed from the greatness of this experience," and it grants us to push toward the future with a lighter heart. As we let go, we begin to understand that we're not described by our past yet by our choices today. Our experiences shape us, but they don't have to limit us. By embracing the ongoing second and focusing in on our future, we re-examine ourselves as per our own inclinations. Consistently transforms into an opportunity to gather the presence we envision, unbound by past limitations. Offering up allows us the opportunity to create and to seek after our dreams with a re-energized sensation of believability and energy. In this segment, you'll track down practical endeavors for conveying the past, pardoning yourself as well as others, and embracing a forward-focused mindset. Surrendering is an outing, yet with each step, you'll feel more drew in and prepared for embellishment a future that reflects who you truly are. By unburdening yourself from the greatness of what's behind you, you can focus in your energy on what lies ahead, building a day-to-day existence that is driven by reason, excitement, and the power of likelihood. Section 5. Living with Reason Today. Living with reason infers choosing consistently to change your exercises, examinations, and targets with the most compelling thing to you. Right when you stir with an internal compass, your days are filled by course and significance, making even the humblest exercises feel immense. Object is definitely not a target yet a way to deal with daily existence, a point you convey with you in each second, embedding your reality with energy and focus. This part researches how to foster a deliberate viewpoint starting today to make a delightful life. One of the underlying moves toward living with object is figuring out the primary thing to you. Track down a valuable open door to think about your basic convictions, interests, and the things that make you feel commonly fortified. Suppose you could open the mysteries of achievement that main the top 20% of workers on the planet know. Privileged insights that could change your profession, develop your business, and transform your fantasies into the real world. Whether you're the chief of an organization, a business visionary with enormous desires, or a worker excited for an advancement, this book is your definitive manual for thinking more astute and accomplishing more. Have you at any point felt stuck, uncertain of how to move toward your objectives? Get savvy. We'll tell you the best way to get through those boundaries by reshaping the manner in which you think. You'll figure out how to accumulate basic data, pursue choices with lucidity, and face certifiable difficulties head-on, all with a mentality intended for progress. This book likewise uncovers an interesting idea, the contrast between sluggish reasoning and quick reasoning. When you comprehend when to utilize every mode, you'll acquire a superpower, the capacity to think decisively in any circumstance, and settle on the best decisions. However, that is not all. On the off chance that you're significant about creating financial well-being, you'll figure out how to take on the propensities for the world's most extravagant individuals, adopt the thought process of a business big shot, and position yourself among the tip-top rare sorts of people who procure millions. Through strong systems, moving stories, and noteworthy stages, this book will direct you toward an existence of independence from the rat race and individual accomplishment. Is it safe to say that you are prepared to figure out how to think more honed, act more intelligent, and accomplish more? How about we make a plunge and find the outlook that can make a huge difference? Informed thinking versus clueless reasoning. In the event that you're thinking about beginning another business, the initial step is to get your work done. You could think you understand what your clients need, yet imagine a scenario where you're off base. Effective dynamic did not depend on presumptions. It requires assembling genuine realities and bits of knowledge, whether it's through Google Look, understanding books, or counseling specialists. Informed speculation generally begins with strong exploration. In any industry, your job shouldn't simply be tied in with conveying results. It ought to be tied in with turning into the most learned individual in your field. Assuming you expect to make enduring progress, you really want to turn into the first point of reference others depend on for help. For instance, envision you have a splendid thought for an item. Many individuals hurry to make the best item without testing the market. Accepting their item is so great, it will change clients' viewpoints. Rather than pushing clients to purchase, set aside some margin to completely explore the market. Envision moving toward a client in a shopping center and finding out if they'd purchase item A, regardless of whether it had a couple of blemishes. Assuming they say no, your thought needs refinement. In the event that they say okay, regardless of the blemishes, you're in good shape. Disappointment is normal in business, and that is not a problem. You could send off an item that isn't helpful to your clients. At the point when this occurs, treat it as a learning a potential open door, change your methodology, and begin once more. To push ahead, ask yourself key inquiries. Is there enough interest on the lookout for my item? Is the market adequately large to help solid deals? How might I work on my item to make it more helpful to a bigger crowd? Are clients ready to follow through on a fair cost for what I'm advertising? By responding to these inquiries every day, you'll reliably uncover important experiences. Being clueless or wild prompts disappointment, yet remaining informed gives you a triumphant edge over your rivals. Relax. Over the long run, your way to progress will become more clear. With exhaustive exploration, you'll know basically everything there is to know about your business, and others will trust your arrangement and vision. Nonetheless, having a field-tested strategy doesn't mean now is the right time to unwind. Continuously drive yourself to find out more, remain inquisitive, and get ready answers for likely difficulties. This persistent quest for information and improvement is which isolates the victors from the rest. The more you put resources into informed thinking, the nearer you'll get to accomplishing your objectives, and your prosperity will presently not be an issue of if, yet when. Slow reasoning versus quick reasoning. You've presumably heard somebody say that in the event that you center eagerly around an objective, you can accomplish anything. This is valid in light of the fact that our psyches are unimaginably strong. Did you had any idea that the human cerebrum has the ability to handle around 1,500 words each moment? That is an ability to dumbfound, yet diverting this power requires huge resolution and reliable exertion. The things we pursue day to day at last become routines, and believing is no exemption. By rehearsing both sluggish and quick reasoning, we can improve our thinking skills. When to utilize slow reasoning. Slow reasoning is your partner while confronting complex choices, dealing with feelings like resentment, or cautiously gauging the outcomes of your activities. To develop slow reasoning, have a go at investing some calm energy alone in a room, getting down your viewpoints written down. This propensity urges you to think profoundly and purposely, particularly when high-stakes choices are involved. When to utilize quick reasoning. Quick reasoning, then again, is ideally suited for routine errands like shopping, settling on fast telephone decisions, or messing around. It's programmed, easy, and ideal for circumstances where speed matters more than profundity. To find success, dominating both sluggish and quick reasoning is fundamental, yet the critical lies in knowing when to utilize each. One successful technique to prepare your sluggish reasoning is by applying the GOSPA model. Objectives, goals, systems, needs, and activities. How about we separate it? 1. Objectives. Set clear, quantifiable, and long-haul objectives that line up with your vision for development. On the off chance that you're an entrepreneur, keep your eyes on your objectives, regardless of whether accomplishing them requires years. 2. Goals. In the wake of characterizing your objectives, lay out unambiguous and zeroed-in transient targets that act as venturing stones to your final location. 3. Procedures. Then, think up procedures to accomplish every goal. For instance, on the off chance that your goal is to enlist new representatives, your procedure would include characterizing the moves toward find and select the right contender to get everything taken care of. 4. Needs. Recognize and zero in on the 20% of techniques that will convey 80% of the outcomes. This is the notable 80-20 guideline, which assists you with zeroing in on high-influence activities. 5. Activities. At last, focus on making the important moves. These could be everyday, week after week, or month-to-month undertakings, yet they should reliably draw you nearer to your objectives. The most basic piece of this interaction is remaining on track. Never fail to focus on your objectives, targets, and techniques, regardless of how far off progress might appear. Assuming you let interruptions pull you away, accomplishing your objectives will become incomprehensible. The stunt isn't to continuously think quick or consistently think slow. It's to perceive which sort of reasoning suits what is happening and act appropriately. While controlling your reasoning turns out to be natural, you'll join the positions of those interesting people who can accomplish anything they put their energy into. By adjusting quick and slow reasoning and utilizing instruments like the GOSPA model, you'll foster a mentality that prompts phenomenal achievement. 6. Result-situated thinking versus action-arranged thinking. Have you at any point asked why certain individuals acquire fundamentally more than others in a similar working environment? Concentrates on show that while 20% of laborers acquire millions, the other 80% scarcely make to the point of covering their essential requirements. What makes this gigantic hole? The response lies by the way they approach their work. Most representatives spend their business days being occupied, yet not really useful. They visit with collaborators, look at their telephones, or appreciate expanded breaks. Then again, the top 20% spotlight completely on results. They approach each undertaking with commitment and never stop until they convey the most ideal result. These people have a remarkable capacity to make esteem, which makes them profoundly pursued and generously compensated. To move into this high-acquiring class, the mystery is to embrace result-oriented considering rather zeroing in on exercises. The key is to begin working with reason the second you step into the working environment. One strong procedure to accomplish this is the standard of 3. This basic yet successful strategy can assist you with helping your efficiency and concentration. Whether you work for an organization or maintain your own business, pose yourself one basic inquiry. What are the 3 errands I can do today that will make the most worth? Rather than attempting to handle each assignment on your plan for the day, recognize the 3 most significant ones. In the event that your chief doles out you an extensive rundown of errands, feel free to which ones are the most elevated need. Endeavoring to do all that will leave you dispersed and incapable. How to pick the right errands. Concluding which assignments to zero in on could appear to be overpowering, yet the response exists in you. Ponder your novel abilities and ask yourself how they can add to your organization's prosperity. Center around succeeding at the errands that line up with your assets and have the greatest effect. Endeavor to turn into the main point of reference for those particular obligations. The advantages of centered exertion. At the point when you focus your endeavors on less, high-effect errands, you'll finish them with greatness, yet additionally stand apart as a top entertainer. Your manager will see your accomplishments since they'll be significant and quantifiable. This separates the 20% of laborers who prevail from the rest. Moving to an outcome-situated mentality isn't just about doing less. It's tied in with doing what makes the biggest difference. It's tied in with conveying genuine worth rather than just remaining occupied. At the point when you ace this methodology, you'll open the possibility to acquire more, accomplish more, and draw nearer to the top level of achievement. The excursion to turning out to be important for that tip-top 20% begins with a straightforward inquiry. What results will I make today? Adaptable reasoning versus unbending reasoning. Did you had at least some idea that examination has uncovered adaptability as one of the most fundamental characteristics for progress? Adaptability implies the capacity to adjust rapidly to change. In reality as we know it, where requirements, items, and abilities advance every day, having the option to change yourself to these progressions is critical to making long-haul progress. Assuming you're a worker, you really want to persistently update your abilities to satisfy the new needs of your work. Neglecting to do so may bring about losing your situation to somebody who has the refreshed abilities required. Assuming that you're an entrepreneur, you should remain in front of each and every change and pattern that influences your client's requirements. On the off chance that you don't, your clients will rapidly forsake your item and go to fresher, better choices. Obviously, adaptability isn't discretionary. It's critical. Take the case of financial specialist Gary Becker, who led a concentrate on pay development. He saw that as 80% of individuals increment their pay by 3% every year, a rate so low that it requires a long time to see a huge improvement. Then again, 20% of individuals develop their pay by as much as 11% every year. Going on like this, they twofold their pay each 6 to 7 years. Isn't excessively momentous? In any case, which isolates these two gatherings, the ones who deteriorate at 3% development and the ones who accomplish 11%? Gary found that the top 20% are the people who are continually learning and getting to the next level. They read books, take courses, pay attention to digital broadcasts, and face new difficulties head-on. They reliably ask themselves how they can go about their responsibilities better. Conversely, the leftover 80% seldom put resources into self-awareness. They only here and there read, seldom work on their abilities, and invest their free energy sitting in front of the television or enjoying interruptions. These people go to work, adhere to directions, and return home with no work to move along. Sadly, many in this gathering in the end lose their positions. At the point when that occurs, they find themselves ill-equipped and coming up short on the abilities and adaptability expected to adjust. In any event, when they go after new positions, managers don't find their profiles engaging, leaving them jobless for quite a long time. Might you want to be in the top 20% who twofold their pay like clockwork? This is the way you can get it going. 1. Get out of your usual range of familiarity and take on difficulties that alarm you. 2. Beat the anxiety toward disappointment. 3. Accept that you can learn anything and address your unfortunate behavior patterns. Find work you're enthusiastic about, ace it, and constantly look for chances to develop. Outcome over the long haul arrives at the individuals who embrace adaptable reasoning. It's a definitive device for adjusting, flourishing, and accomplishing unprecedented outcomes. Pioneering thinking versus corporate reasoning. In this day and age, many individuals fantasy about passing on their corporate tasks to become business people. Being a business person implies fabricating a business that centers totally around tackling client needs and conveying esteem. In corporate reasoning, clients are many times seen as a weight, issues that should be overseen or overlooked. This outlook streams down to workers who wind up playing out their errands with insignificant exertion. They don't feel an awareness of certain expectations for the organization's prosperity in light of the fact that their check shows up whether or not they succeed or fail to meet expectations. Then again, innovative reasoning rouses representatives to fill in as though the organization were their own. These people are continuously learning new things and working on their abilities. They perceive their significance to the organization's development, and along these lines, they give their maximum effort in each assignment they attempt. To embrace an innovative outlook, the following are a couple of key practices to follow. 1. Continually survey your work and results. Pose yourself these basic inquiries. What worth does my item bring to the market? Does it take care of my clients' concerns? Does it assist them with accomplishing their objectives? What special advantages does my item offer? 2. Figure out your clients. Jump profound into who your clients are. Ask yourself, who are they? What is their age, area, pay, schooling, and calling? What explicit requirements do they have? The better you comprehend your clients, the more actually you can plan items that address their issues. 3. Foster areas of strength for a technique. Contemplate the most ideal ways to advance and sell your items. Center around gaining new clients, overseeing dissemination, and contacting the right crowd. Create your promoting procedure to engage those able to follow through on the right cost for your item. 4. Embrace change and development. A business person is rarely smug. Consistently assess your strategies, and in the event that things aren't working, make it a point to have a go at a novel, new thing. Achievement comes from ceaseless improvement and variation. 5. Remain modest and centered. One of the greatest snags to progress is inner self. Assuming that you let pride cloud your judgment, you'll battle to recognize what's working and what isn't. All things being equal, center around making the best decision and remain completely dedicated to your objectives. By posing these inquiries and remaining open to progress, you'll move toward making progress. Pioneering believing isn't just about possessing a business. It's tied in with claiming your activities, embracing liability, and endeavoring to convey genuine worth. To prevail throughout everyday life, embrace this outlook. Really buckle down, keep on track, and grow constantly. That is the genuine pith of enterprising reasoning. 6. Rich reasoning versus unfortunate reasoning. Very much like the law of gravity, the law of correspondence expresses that what you find on the planet is an impression of your inward contemplations. To become rich, you should begin thinking like well-off individuals. On the off chance that you don't have faith in your brain that you can accomplish abundance, it's basically impossible that you'll at any point succeed. How about you become rich? On the off chance that your response is indeed, around 50% of the fight is as of now won. Assuming your response is no, now is the right time to transform your perspective. It's straightforward. Assuming you begin thinking and behaving like rich individuals, you'll ultimately become one of them. Everything comes down to building the right propensities and adhering to them. Try not to pursue alternate ways. Well-off individuals generally get up right on time to get an early advantage and outpace others. They immovably trust that in the event that they don't invest the energy and give extraordinary items or administrations to the world, they won't ever accomplish abundance. Effective individuals have useful propensities. They deal with their well-being, family, and work. The majority of them work more than 60 hours per week, frequently with only one vacation day. To embrace the propensities for rich individuals, follow these 7 systems. 1. Center around each propensity in turn. Try not to overpower yourself by attempting to embrace numerous propensities immediately. Pick one propensity, center around it, and stick to it for a whole month. 2. Realize the stuff. Persistently learn and accumulate the information you want to foster the propensity. 3. Make a positive mental picture. Envision yourself effectively taking on the propensity. Positive reasoning makes it more straightforward for your brain to make the right moves. 4. Use perception. Envision the existence you need as a well-off individual. Picture it distinctively and use representation procedures to transform that vision into the real world. 5. Make a move. Begin pursuing the new routine right away. 6. Focus on 30 days. Pursue the routine consistently for basically a month without skipping. 7. Restart assuming you goof. On the off chance that you have a terrible day and miss your propensity, don't surrender. Begin again from the last known point of interest and continue onward. We should investigate Brian Tracy's life. As we embrace consistently with a grateful heart, we open ourselves to an everyday presence stacked up with reason, affiliation, and certified joy. Section 10 Renaming accomplishment. Living in the ongoing accomplishment is a significant part of the time portrayed by the accomplishments we achieve, the goals we reach, or the dreams we fulfill. In any case, envision a situation where veritable advancement lies in something simpler, yet unfathomably more exceptional, living totally at the present time. Renaming achievement as living in the current licenses us to check life not by the outcomes we show up at from now into the foreseeable future, yet by the idea of the experiences we have as of now. This part jumps into how moving understanding we could decipher achievement from a future-arranged pursuit to a present-centered way to deal with regular daily existence can adjust our sensation of course, fulfillment, and satisfaction. The traditional point of view on progress will overall be forward-drawn in, driven by unambiguous achievements, financial benefit, or monetary prosperity. While these targets can be convincing, they can in like manner make a mindset that never-endingly looks forward, habitually to the impairment of esteeming right here and now. Reconsidering achievement as living in the ongoing means giving up the "I'll be joyful when" attitude and embracing consistently for what it offers, seeing that certifiable satisfaction is found in our everyday experiences and correspondences. Right when we view achievement as embracing the present time and place, we comprehend that life isn't a movement of achievements to confirm, yet a trip of experiences to appreciate. Every conversation, every last victory, and even depictions of quietness add to our sensation of fulfillment. Accomplishment ends up being less about having, progressively more about finding rapture and importance in each piece of the trip. This shift helps us with focusing in on improvement, appreciation, and internal concordance, which make a more conservative sensation of satisfaction. Living in the current licenses us to experience presence with more important significance and lavishness. Right when we're not consistently centered around the future, we're allowed to totally partake in what's happening now. We begin to see the greatness of a sunset, the laughing of sidekicks, and the joy of clear minutes that could some way or another be dismissed. By re-evaluating result thusly, we let loose ourselves to an all the more full, more unique life where each second transforms into a significant opportunity for affiliation, improvement, and happiness. Embracing the present moreover diminishes the tension and disquiet that can arise out of a future-focused mindset. Exactly when we're persistently chasing after the accompanying goal or achievement, there's a consistent strain to perform, succeed, and succeed. This pressure can incite burnout, stress, and serious uncertainties. Embracing the present time and place, on the other hand, urges us to give up these nerves and trust in the trip. We sort out some way to see the worth in each step without the consistent need to look further ahead, which brings a sensation of calm and balance to our lives. Re-examining achievement as living in the present also supports our associations. Exactly when we're totally participated in right here and now, we're prepared to listen even more significantly, partner even more really, and esteem others in a huge way. We're not commonly redirected by worries about the future or misgivings from a previous time, allowing us to be truly present with people around us. This presence energizes trust, compassion, and figuring out, propelling our associations, and making bonds in view of ensured affiliation. Another amazing effect of living in the present is the open door it brings from self-judgment. Regularly, our future-focused wants are joined by raised prerequisites and awful self-examination. Right when we judge ourselves considering what we have or haven't achieved, we make a viewpoint of need and lack. By embracing the ongoing second, we release ourselves from these choices and recognize ourselves as we are. We begin to see that accomplishment isn't connected to becoming something different, yet about totally embracing what our identity is right as of now. Re-evaluating achievement as a present-centered adventure moreover encourages us to seek after our endlessly advantages with joy instead of responsibility. Right when we're not centered around future outcomes, we're permitted to explore, investigate, and share during the time spent learning. Accomplishment ends up being less about showing up at a specific goal and more about the fulfillment we track down to following our advantage and tracking down new pieces of ourselves. This approach brings a sensation of enthusiasm and wonder to our lives, making our ordinary advantages more lovely and critical. Living in the present in like manner changes us even more personally with our characteristics. Exactly when we're not entirely set in stone by outside markers of achievement, we have the space to contemplate the most compelling thing to us. We can focus in on qualities like liberality, trustworthiness, and validity rather than shallow achievements. Accomplishment transforms into an impression of how we experience consistently, the impact we have on others, and the positive energy we bring to the world. This values-driven approach makes a more significant, more intentional sensation of fulfillment. A present zeroed-in context on progress moreover develops flexibility. Life is stacked up with high places and depressed spots, and when we're only based on showing up at future goals, troubles can feel pounding. By embracing the present, we sort out some way to believe troubles to be significant for the trip, not as blocks that crash us from a future goal. This adaptability licenses us to defy difficulties with ease, flexibility, and a status to create. We come to grasp that certified advancement isn't the setback of fight, yet the ability to investigate it with strength and compassion. Renaming achievement as living in the present moreover updates our mental clarity and creative mind. Right when we're not grieved by future worries or contrite contemplations, our minds are permitted to think even more directly and innovatively. We become more open to inspiration in our ecological components, finding novel contemplations and game plans in unexpected spots. This mental open door grants us to advance toward our targets with new perspective, making our work more charming and often more viable meanwhile. This method for managing progress helps us to encourage a superior relationship with time. As opposed to survey time as something to vanquish or race against, we begin to believe it to be a predictable stream to move inside. Consistently becomes critical, not as a means to an end, yet rather as an opportunity to attract, learn, and appreciate. Time is by and by not a wellspring of stress, but a gift to be esteemed, bringing a sensation of straightforwardness and concordance to our everyday schedules. Living in the present similarly brings a huge sensation of appreciation. Exactly when we revolve around each second, we become more aware of the gifts and important entryways that envelop us. Appreciation moves our attitude from deficiency to spill over, helping us with seeing that we at this point have all that we need to feel productive and content. This perspective creates joy, lowliness, and a sensation of supernatural occurrence, making our lives feel more excessive and more huge. A present zeroed-in context on progress similarly allows us to live more truly. Right when we're not consistently trying to meet future targets, we're permitted to verbalize our considerations as we are, unafraid of judgment or disillusionment. This realness empowers us to live in plan with our genuine selves, in regards to our exceptional resources, interests, and needs. We quit endeavoring to fit into others' implications of headway, and actually make an everyday presence that resonates with our own characteristics and objectives. Renaming achievement as living in the present moreover encourages us to find balance. Without the strain to consistently push forward, we can zero in on our success, prosperity, and delight. We begin to see that rest, reflection, and dealing with oneself are central bits of a productive life. This harmony licenses us to recharge, remain grounded, and push toward each day with a sensation of fulfillment and reason. Living in the present expands our relationship with our overall environmental elements. We become more responsive to the gloriousness of nature, the care of untouchables, and the fundamental delights of life. This affiliation supports a sensation of fortitude and having a spot, exhorting us that we are fundamental for a choice that could be greater than ourselves. Accomplishment ends up being less about confidential increment and more about adding to a total sensation of concordance and thriving. A present-focused viewpoint on progress moreover assists us with seeing the worth in life's short minutes. We come to grasp that nothing is really strong, and that each experience, whether euphoric or testing, is a possible opportunity to create. This care urges us to give up association and embrace life's brevity, helping us with living with a light heart and an open standpoint. Re-examining achievement as living in the current urges us to be kinder to ourselves. We sort out some way to recognize our headway as opposed to focusing in on our clear lacks. This self-sympathy connects with us to progress forward, even on inconvenient days, understanding that accomplishment is positively not a respectable point yet a constant journey of self-disclosure and improvement. In the end, living in the current licenses us to see that veritable improvement is certainly not a target yet a way to deal with being. It's connected to living consistently totally, appreciating truly, and finding rapture in the outing. Exactly when we embrace this perspective, we comprehend that we are at this point successful, not considering what we've achieved but rather sense of how we choose to encounter consistently. Thankful to you for focusing on the power of now. Don't leave anything for later. Remember, life is happening a lot of present. Reliably you stop, you lose minutes that you can never get back. The choice to take action and live totally is yours today. As you continue, recollect this. If you don't leave your past previously, it will obliterate your future. Live for what today offers that might be of some value, not what yesterday has taken out. Let this book recording be an update that the present is all we truly need to shape our dreams and seek after the presence we want. Embrace the event, take solid steps, and recall that every action you push toward a future without mourns. Thankful to you for obliging us on this journey, and may you by and large track down strength in the power of now.